All right, everybody. Welcome to our fourth Recon Mock here on the Sports Ethos YouTube page. I am Dan Bespris. I always forget to make my face a little bit larger here before the actual draft begins. I got sort of a dirty forehead. That's a weird thing to bring to a draft. Oh, well. Anyway, that's where we're at. Maybe I should turn the light down. That is Dan Bespris on Twitter, at Dan Bespris on Twitter. Please, everybody, take a moment here as you're settling in. Draft's getting going, and you can see on that clock in about 2 minutes to click that like button down somewhere in, I don't know, I guess I can't point all the way there, down somewhere in that neck of the woods. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I'm trying to do at least 3 of these every week between now and the start of the NBA season, possibly more as we get closer to the beginning of the actual season. So please do subscribe. We've got some incredible NFL content coming out on this page as well, including a number of mock drafts for the football fans. And then over at sportsethos.com, we've got the premium stuff on sale now. NFL Fantasy Pass for just $4 a month. NBA Fantasy Pass is $6, or you can combine them with baseball as well for just $7 a month. That's the NBA or the All Sport Fantasy Pass. See, I know what I'm talking about here. Shout out to our pals at manscaped.com. Promo code there is Ethos20, and calderalab.com. Promo code there is just the word Ethos, E-T-H-O-S. And now I pivot and look back at this draft screen. I'm going to make sure to turn sounds off, although if something slips through, you know, it happens. At the moment, and I'm not liking the look of this, at the moment there are 6 teams set on auto draft right now. And if that sticks, then we may just make this one a short one. And people have asked me a few times, and I'll address it before the draft even begins, Dan, why don't you preload these drafts? Why do you just parachute into a Yahoo room? Well, it's because I want to see what the general public is doing, especially today as ADP data comes out for the first time. I just want to see. I want to see what folks are up to. Let me go ahead and make that bigger for you now. Is that the best way to look at it? Yeah, that's good enough. So it's getting started here. We'll see if anybody drops in. Ugh, 6. That's not great. All right, well, here we go. I put myself in the 4 hole. This is unfortunate. This is going to be a less interesting one if you're tuning in early and you're like, let's see, what are we going to get out of this one? We'll get some stuff, but not as much as I would have wanted, and that's a shame. Maybe I should back out and go join another one here. Nah, you guys don't want to watch that. All right, we'll just make this one a shorter. This will be like a quick hitter mock draft, mostly to see who's going at the top. But boy, that 10 and 11 slot being auto drafted, that's a real pisser. Come on, man. What are you guys even doing in this thing? Turn your crap on. At least hang out for the first 3 or 4 rounds. Do I have a rant in the chamber? Maybe I do. Dano's angry. But again, so Luka or Jokic, Luka, Tatum off the board. Obviously, I'll do Embiid here at 4 just because that makes the most sense. That's interesting. You don't usually see Tatum fall to 4. If that ever happens in your draft, color yourself very fortunate because he has a chance to be number 1. But again, the reason that I don't want all of my own followers in the mock draft I'm doing is because I don't want people doing stuff based on anything I've said. And, there might be someone in one of these mocks that follows me on Twitter or listens to Fantasy NBA Today, plugging my podcast, Fantasy NBA Today. There might be someone among that group, but it's not going to be the whole thing. That's important to me. I actually think, just from a mock draft strategy standpoint, it's actually the most interesting thing. If you can get a bunch of analysts in a mock draft together where they're actually making their moves, that's super useful. But you can't always count on that. Sometimes analysts, I'm guilty of this as well, will do something a little bit wacky during a mock draft just because we can. Anyway, 3 auto drafts, Hallie, Shea, Curry, that's fine. Now we'll see what happens here at 8 and 9. That's kind of interesting. And then 12 will be interesting as well. But yeah, so analysts get a little wild in mock drafts. I'm guilty of that because you can do it because it doesn't matter. But what actually makes more sense is finding out what the sort of general public is doing based on all the information that's actually out there. Because most of the time you're seeing folks in these mocks, they're prepping for their own draft. Whereas I'm in here just seeing what they do when they're prepping for their own drafts. I know. We're looking through the looking glass. All right, so Giannis goes 8th. That's something we've seen a lot of. Anthony Davis goes 9th. That has not been necessarily set in stone. But this is that spot, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 range where things have been pretty goofball. Hey, pick number 11 actually signed in here, so that's good for us. This one will probably get auto-pick Dame unless they preset their board. So we'll count down from 6 and hope that we get good news on that front. I'm skeptical. What do we got? Yeah, there goes Dame. Ah, well. Okay, well, 11 and 12 and then 13 and 14, those will be interesting as well. So we'll hold out hope that those bring us a little bit of news as I tweet out that this mock is happening. All right, what do we got? Okay, so Booker at 11, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Trae Young at 14. Okay, Kevin Durant's still on the board. He'll come off here now. Wow, okay. Well, I just did like a 4-part podcast series over on Fantasy NBA Today, breaking down all of these guys and their cases to go at 9, 10, whatever. And this is basically the first time that Booker's been the guy to helm that board. Someone tweeted at me they thought Devin Booker's going to average a double-double this year. I will be floored, and I will eat this Clippers hat, not minor league baseball Clippers hat, if Devin Booker averages 10 assists. You know how hard it is to average 10 assists in the NBA right now? People get a little carried away. 3 players did it last year. Harden, Halliburton, and Trae Young. Jokic was at 9.8. You think Booker's going to average more assists than Jokic this coming year? I have this lovely bridge. It is also for sale. It's not going to happen, guys. You might see a little uptick there, but you'll see a downtick in so many things. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Anyway, Trae Young, that's really early for him. I get it. You could punt a bunch of stuff, but it is a head-to-head league. I don't mind LaMelo at 12. Edwards at 13. I do think that durability plays a factor there. And then Kevin Durant got auto-drafted at 15. If he slides to you at 15, throw the ticker tape parade. JJJ at 16. That's about the latest we've seen him. Kyrie at 17. Is this really a sign of the way things are moving? That'd be interesting. I know there's a lot of buzz around Anthony Edwards right now, and LaMelo's getting a lot of love at that turn. So maybe this is the beginning of pushing some of the old dudes back down. I'm going to auto-draft Kawhi Leonard here. Yeah, we'll just do that. Freddie VanVleet at 18, pretty normal. Harden at 19. Mikal Bridges at 20. You guys kind of know where I'm at with these dudes. Bridges more so a totals darling. Totals, darling. James Harden at 19. Yeah. Well, I'll go Kawhi. I'm hoping he continues to fall, but I'll just take him here to get him out of the way and see what everybody else is doing. Gavin's on the clock. Whoever the hell that is. I'm surprised Donovan Mitchell's still going like around 20. He was better than that last year, and he feels safer than some of these picks. Gavin may have no choice. Desmond Bane goes in front of him. Yeah, I mean, Bane's interesting. He should have a good year. We might be wiping out a little bit of the fun on that one. All right, we got some auto picks that are going to run everything through real fast here. There goes Donovan at 23. Donovan Mitchell. Sabonis, Larry Markkinen got auto picked there. Cat at 26. He's slowly moving up the board from his initial spot. 27, that's Vooch. That's higher than he's been going lately. I want to take somebody who I'm not actually all that curious where he's going to go, and I'll go Jimmy Butler again. I know my team is looking like a typical old man squad. I just have a lot of faith that these old guys are going to fall. Whoa. Oh, it's 3 auto picks right behind me. So there goes PG, LeBron, and Pascal. Throw those out. We're not learning anything from 3 auto picks. I am interested that Vooch went at 27, and I don't know if that's, Gavin wants that totals run. I think he'd fall farther than that if you let him. And with Cat, he may be one of the first signs of a guy moving up the board in this area of the draft. The ones up at the top seem to be Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball. Ball's already had his pre-rank adjusted. Haven't seen anything else to be super obvious there. Kristaps at 32. He's a guy I thought we'd see fall a little bit more. DeJounte Murray at 33. Miles Turner got auto-drafted. No. Yeah. Drew Holiday, 35. Safe, but unexciting. Vino here on the turn. Victor Wembanyama at 36 in this one, in case you guys were keeping track of where he's going. Jaylen Brown, safe. Cade, not that safe. Brunson auto pick. Yeah, you're not going to get me to do the Cade thing this early. De'Aaron Fox at 40. I think he gets hurt this year. I don't want to wish that on him, but that Kings team is ripe for some injury misses. Oh, there goes the run again. So Evan Mobley was 41. That was the non-auto pick. And then you got Bam, Kessler, and Garland that came zooming off the board here. Draft's moving along at a good clip, but a lot of that is because we do have 5 guys auto picking, and it's all the mid-round dudes. So it just, like, zips through some of those guys. I want to take somebody boring here, so I'll go DeMar just to get him out of the way. And now we'll see what a few actual humans do. Vassell at 46. That's saucy. We just lost another mid-round drafter, so we're not going to go too much farther here. Chet at 47, OG 48, Jamal Murray 49. These are all real people making these plays. No strong thoughts there. Zach LaVine at 50 is funny to think. Zach LaVine is now the whole Bulls roster basically is turned into old man squad types. Nobody's interested in them at all. DeMar falling, LaVine falling, Vooch always falling. The Dan Vespers old man squad might just be all Chicago Bulls this year. God love it. We'll take him if they give him. How much farther are we going to go? Maybe rounds 5 and 6. All these guys auto-drafting in the middle is pissing me off. Claxton at 51. That's a good one to have. You got to make sure you got a good, nice, firm free throw base going into that bad boy. I'm going to take somebody that I'd never draft in real life, like Brandon Ingram, just to throw the board off. But then DeAndre Poole, Lopez, Barnes, you got 4 auto picks in a row after that. So if there's anyone in that group, whatever. I mean, I'd rather have Ayton over Ingram if you give me that. So we'll let these other guys get auto-drafted. Ha, ha, ha. There they go. Timothy just logged out, so we're going to get the full 30 seconds there. This is an interesting spot. I like the typically the old man players, the boring ones, tend to fall in that kind of 25 to 50 range, but it's really more of a blend this year. Oh, now we lost Gavin too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Brutal, everybody. Brutal effort by the people in this one. So I'm going to be next to leave this place. Boo! Boo, I say. Boo. This maybe I'll tell a joke. Last live show I did, I just told a joke instead of the draft. Once everybody left, what the hell's the point? Şengün at 57. My God. Jared Allen, I mean, that's an auto draft, but boring. There's a boring dude. We're learning who the boring guys are this year. LaVine is kind of a new member of the boring squad. Pretty amazing, actually. I wish I knew when Chris Paul... Oh, look, Chris Paul's up to 62 in X rank now. Maybe he got bumped around a little bit. Well, let's see what Vino does in his 2 picks on the turn. We'll give it a little bit longer. I was thinking maybe I'd tell an old golf joke at the end of this episode. Anybody got any questions? Throw them into the comment section. There are a small chunk of you tuning in live that it's fine. I gave exactly no seconds of warning that I was doing this show. There goes Randall at 60. All right, so I'm sort of done with this draft. This is terrible. Everybody's left. We got information out of the first 4 or 5 rounds, maybe, but that was it. Nothing enormous here. Key takeaways: the Bulls are all falling. There is sadness in the fantasy space surrounding the Chicago Bulls, and more guys are starting to get pushed up the board. The hype train is adding carts. Trying to get this metaphor to work. The hype train can have as many carts as you'd like, but there are more now. Is there a way? Let's see if I can do this very, very easily. If I can get the list of the board. Where's the other viewing pane? Ah, here we go. Let's go up to the top of the board. I'm going to turn my own auto pick on here, so I don't care what happens the rest of the way. All right, take a look at this board with me here. So Booker at 11 was interesting. LaMelo, not that interesting. He's been getting pushed up a little bit. But Ant, Trey, this sort of grouping here, 12, 13, 14 of younger guys getting pushed up, pushing down Durant, Kyrie. Those guys are farther down the board than I expected. Next chunk of that is kind of in this. Now, some of that was auto-picked, I think. No, maybe those guys were for real. Who had the auto going? Was it this dude? Doesn't matter. So Towns getting pushed up a little bit was something, but it didn't change much because then you get this chunk of old guys here. Vooch, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, LeBron. So that run here of like 25 to 35 is relatively old. And then you get a little baby run of slightly younger dudes like, well, Jaylen Brown's not a young guy, but Cade, younger. Brunson, younger, starting to emerge. Fox, still younger. Mobley, younger. Kessler, younger. Garland. Even Vassell, Holmgren are in there. So that's pushed guys like DeMar down the board. Levine down the board. These guys got autoed, but Claxton is not an old guy, but his stat set fits a little bit more with kind of the boring. That actually surprised me a little. I thought he'd go earlier. Ayton's boring in here, but there isn't a ton of upside. Jared Allen, this is a very boring player at 58. I'll take that every day. So that's about as far as you want to go. Chris Paul goes at 67, but everybody's auto-drafting this one now, so you can kind of tune that sucker out. Quick joke for you guys before I send you off into the abyss. Hang out with us here. Let me tell you this lovely joke. The backstory behind this one is when I was 3, my parents taught me this joke on a family trip to Yosemite. We went with our cousins. There's video footage of this. I could barely talk. I mean, I might have been 2.5. I talked really early. Surprise, surprise. Look at this crap I'm doing for my life now. Just yelling into a microphone. So here I am. If you can, picture 2-year-old Dan telling this joke. Man walks into a bar, walks up to the bartender and says, "Bartender, give me a water." Bartender goes, "My goodness, man, what happened to you?" And he goes, "It's a long story." Bartender says, "I got time." And he goes, "Okay." By the way, this is, I should have specified, this bar is on a golf course. It's the 19th green. The guy says, "All right, so I'm out playing the course, right? And I'm on the 13th, which is a dog leg right. But I thought I'd kind of jump the dog leg, so I took my driver out. Wham! Crushed it. But it sliced on me too far. I was trying to take the dog leg to the right, and it curled way off to the side. So I'm walking down to find my ball, and I find myself with some cows. There's like, I don't know what it's doing there. There's just cows. There's a little cow pasture just to the right of this hole. 13th hole is, I guess, near the edge of the golf course. So I'm wandering the cow pasture, and I'm looking for my golf ball, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know why I haven't given up and just taken a drop yet, but I felt so great about the shot. I wanted to see how far it went. And I start, and I look to the other side, and I see another golfer, a young lady, has entered the cow pasture from the opposite side, and she appears to be looking for her ball, too. Pretty amazing. I didn't know that. I hadn't gotten to that. I guess like maybe the 16th is coming back the other way. So we're looking for our balls, and finally I get down to the far corner. And sure enough, as one of the cows, you know how sometimes when flies are around, they use their tail to knock the flies out. Cow's flipping his tail around, and I see a golf ball, and it's stuck right in the cow's butt. I could see it in the cow's butthole. And I walked up, and I looked at it, but it wasn't my ball. So I turned to the lady, and I said, "Hey, excuse me, miss." And I pulled up the cow's tail, and I pointed at the ball. And I said, "Lady, does this one look like yours?" 9-iron right in the throat. There you go. So 2-year-old Dan told that joke. I did not understand it at all. And I just told that joke to my 6-year-old son on on a slow car ride the other day, and I had to explain. The lady thought the man was asking if her butthole looked like the cow's butt. Bad mock draft today. Great joke. Have a great one, everybody. Oh, wait. Here. Devin Booker or McHale is a second rounder. Probably go McHale there. I think Booker peters out this year. I mean, even at his absolute peak doing everything, he was like number 20. What can I say, Joe? If the mock is bad, I'm telling a dirty joke on air. Not too dirty, though. Clean enough, and I'll clean it up. I'll use the word butthole instead of the alternative. I guess I could have gone with anus. How many fantasy shows do you get to hear the word anus? All right. I don't think I'm getting that many thumbs up on today's. If you thumbs down this episode, I don't blame you, but please do thumbs up it. Subscribe to the YouTube page. There's so much stuff going on these days. Joe had that incredible baseball trade deadline show a couple weeks back. That was amazing. Football guys are chunking right now. And I'm trying to get 3 of these drafts going here every week. So congrats to everyone on enjoying this god-awful joke and worst draft. We'll do another one in a day or two, and hopefully more people will participate. Please do follow me on Twitter, at Dan Baspris, sportsethos.com, at ethosfantasybk is the basketball feed there. And go check out the Fantasy Pass and my podcast, Fantasy NBA Today. Like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Later, everybody.